Home to some of the largest natural resource deposits in the world, the beautiful Clark Fork River Basin has a proud legacy of mining and was at one time the economic backbone of the state.
There's 10,000 years plus of human history here at the confluence of the Clark Fork and Blackfoot rivers.
The Blackfoot and the Clark Fork is an area of great historical and cultural importance to the tribes. It was known in the Salish language as the place of the big bull trout.
Meriwether Lewis passed through here in 1806, and the Mullinan expedition camped out here in the 1860s. Kind of the story of industry, you know, and how that developed a lot of western Montana.
This area provided timbers for the mines in Butte. The copper mines in Butte were supplying copper for the electrification of America.
In 1908, the Milltown Dam was completed. In June of 1908, a flood of historic proportions came down the Clark Fork River. Contamination with copper and arsenic and other heavy metals. And over time, the arsenic in those sediments worked its way into the local drinking water supply.
The initial reason for the Superfund site designation was groundwater contamination, and the primary area of that was in the Milltown area itself.
The Milltown Reservoir Superfund site was one of the first Superfund sites in the country and the very first one in Montana.
The floods in 1996 especially showed us that dam was in danger, and what went over the top scared us all.
We had a fish kill. That refocused EPA's attention, and for the first time, EPA considered dam removal as an option.
Tribes were a key partner, the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes. And then, you know, thousands of Missoulians and Montanans, you know, chimed in with their support for dam removal.
Under the reservoir, for 100 years, you know, there were stumps, and some of them are still visible, but there were willows that grew on their own 100 years later.
One of the hallmarks of this project are the 3 R's: remediation, restoration, and redevelopment. And by knowing where we wanted to end up with redevelopment, we could then tailor our remediation and restoration to kind of literally lay the groundwork for future redevelopment efforts.
One of the things that EPA helped us do, which I am so thankful for, is to form what we called the working group. We told them they'd only have to meet a few times. I think they're still meeting.
We would make drawings and we'd have ideas, and all of those ideas formed a concept, which is now the Milltown State Park.
You know, you just have to imagine that a lot of this was just flooded with the reservoir. We've got about a 535-acre park here. It's a park in the rough at this point, but we're getting it developed. The vision is a lot of recreational opportunities, trails, river access. But yeah, have a look at that sometime if you like.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
The recreation economy is very important in Montana, and especially in western Montana.
In addition to clean water for everyone and a free-flowing river, which are wonderful, historic preservation has been a super success story.
We have opportunities now that we didn't have before. Before we had a blighted area with contaminated groundwater.
We have to think about the future, and water is a big part of our future, of course, of our lives in general. And reclaiming the groundwater at Milltown is definitely got a sustainability component to it.
The Milltown project is the confluence of many things. It's the confluence not only of the Blackfoot and Clark Fork rivers in western Montana, but it's also the confluence of dedicated people and events.
Thousands of people made this happen.
If anyone wants to know more about what we did here at Milltown, please feel free to contact me.